Okay, I'm just waiting for people to turn up. Hello, just waiting for people to turn up before I get going. So while we're waiting, I'd love to know where you're from. I'm here in Vancouver, Canada. It's spring now. We didn't even have a winter. We had a few cold days, but no snow or anything. Beautiful, beautiful winter. Okay, so where are you from? Oh, Tabitha, hi. Oh, okay. Well, thanks for turning up. Oh, kind of a mess. Look, I've been missing in action the last few days. It wasn't pretty. Anyway, I'll explain that in a minute. Okay. I'm just waiting for everyone to turn up before I get going. Oh, you know what? I'm going to finish my Facebook one. I think I might be on my personal one. Can you do a live on your personal account? So I'm going to restart the Facebook one. Just want to double check that. Done. Oh, good, I was. Yeah, I don't think you can do a live from a personal account. Anyway, okay. Yeah, it was a rough. I do too. I'm into TMI, so I do have a bit of a story to tell. Anyway, just coming alive again. Okay. All right. Sorry, I had to stop it and start it, so I'm just waiting now for Facebook. Gorgeous here, absolutely sunny and gorgeous. I know Vancouverites tend to complain about the rain a lot, but we do live in a rainforest, but we often don't get snow all winter, so we're very lucky. And we got the mountains and the ocean. It's a gorgeous city. I don't know about TikTok. I don't have it, LOL. You don't have TikTok, eh? That's where I started all my social media. I love it. It's addictive, though. Be careful. It's like crack. I should go to like a rehab center to try and get off it. Okay, I'm just waiting for everyone to turn up. Not sure how long I'll last. I'm just coming out of a bug. And just trying to rev up my work head here. We'll see how well I do because I'm kind of coming out of something. So anyway, okay, I'm still waiting for people to turn up. I'm here in Vancouver, Canada. So where are you from? Got Letitia. I hope I said that. How else would you pronounce that? Must be Letitia. Too old to learn new stuff. Well, I learned it in my 60s, so you're never too old. It's harder, though. I know my daughter bugged me for a whole year. Go on TikTok, Mom. Go on TikTok. I said, had no interest in it. And then I went on. It blew up overnight, changed our whole lives. My daughter quit her corporate job. Now she's working with me. TikTok started all that. But if you've got something to share and you think you can help people, go on TikTok or any of the social media channels. Just start talking. Do it every day, though, like I did. Don't worry about how you look or anything. Okay, so I'm going to get going. I know there's not many people here on Facebook. Usually I weight my social media as my bigger platform. YouTube, I love. That's what I watch most of, to be honest. But it's my smallest platform. So anyway, thanks so much for joining me. My name's Lisa. I'm a parenting coach. If you go to my website, it's BratBusters.com. And you can get my free behavior board, my boot camp courses. I have one on toddlers and one on 3 to 12-year-olds. You might want to check out my website. In the very top line, we're running a 5-week Q&A session only for people who are in the boot camp courses. We've done that once before. We did it live before that. Now we're going to record it, taking your questions ahead of time. That it's just easier. There's not as many glitches. And also, I think it'll be smoother because there's not as much editing. Like we can edit it, right? My daughter can edit it all. And it'll just sort of take out stuff that maybe was just umming and ahhing a lot. So anyway, we're going to give it a go. It's just a trial run to see how it goes. It goes for 5 weeks, and this is only for people in the boot camp course. So you might want to check that out. Anyway, you can also look into sorry, I'm just coming out of a flu. You can also look into, what else have I got? Oh yeah, coaching. Yeah, I'm really good at it. I've got a big wait list, but I will get to it eventually. Or you can listen to the podcast. It's called BratBusters Parenting Podcast. It's on all the platforms, and we save it on YouTube. Anyway, I did have that stomach flu. So if you were waiting for a response email from me, I don't do any social media stuff. That's my daughter. But if you're waiting for a response, sorry, but I've just been laid out flat. I've just been rotting on horizontally for days. Anyway, I got it from my granddaughter. Would I rather be sick once in a while and have her see her one day a week and have her all day? Yeah, she's worth it. But knocked me out. And TMI, but yeah, I had an accident. It was shooting out of both ends, and I had an accident. I pooped my pants. And it's funny because I talk about this stuff all the time, but when you're 65, it's just a whole other level. It's like, is this just the start of what's coming? I've only done that once before as an adult, and it was 30 years ago, and I was laughing at my kids because they pooped their pants when they had this horrible flu. There's like no warning, none. It was just all of a sudden. And I did it too. So here, I'd been laughing at them. We were all laughing, and then I ended up doing it. And then I just did it this week too. I don't care. I have no dignity. I don't care. Okay, sorry about that. Just thought I'd share that in case you're going through stomach flu with your family. You're not alone. Okay, Austin from Iowa, where we both had winter and summer in the same week. Oh, where did I hear about that? Oh, I know. I went to New York back in 2010 for my 50th birthday. And literally, we arrived there. We were wearing tank tops and shorts. And when we left, we were wearing our winter parkas in 1 week. Whoa, it was in October. It was my birthday. It was in October. Wow. Tank top to parka in 1 week. Didn't see that coming. Does your granddaughter still nap, or does she drop like your kids? Okay, no, she didn't drop it like my kids did. She still naps. She's just over 2 years old now, and she still naps. But I guess she wasn't feeling very well the other day. So she actually called my name when she was falling asleep. First time she's ever done that, poor little thing. Anyway, so yeah, she still naps. She's a good napper. She lays there for ages playing. She never even, when she wakes up, she'll just lay there and play for a while too. She's just a very easygoing little child. So yeah, I mean, they're great parents too, but she is a very sweet natured child. They're very lucky. I don't know, the next one could be a hellion. You never know, right? I've done that one sick. Oh, I'm not alone. Your poopy pants too? Yeah. It's very humiliating. It's funny. I didn't do any cleaning. If you've watched me at all, you know, I talk about cleaning all the time. I love cleaning. And, but I did do laundry, but I couldn't live with that. I crawled to the washing machine, got myself fixed up. Okay. Oh, a blizzard. Yikes. 90 degrees. But yesterday was 90 degrees Fahrenheit. Wow. Wow. Oh yeah, my daughter set up this whole Q&A. If you are in the boot camp courses, make sure you check that out. We're taking questions for the Q&A. It's only for people in the boot camp courses, but we're trying to support you and figure out what helps. If you really like this, we might do it again. I don't know, but it goes for 5 weeks, every Thursday in April. So anyway, check that out. Okay, this is Life's Abundant Journey. I like that. I've seen you before. I have a 10-year-old who I have to repeat myself often. He's not argumentative, doesn't act out. How do I introduce the behavior board? What should I tell him? He's 10 years old and you have to repeat yourself. You select what you're going to choose for this. So if it's like you have to repeat, like when he goes to bed, you could just say to him, look, I'll tell you what, you've got a phone or whatever, an alarm clock or whatever. So you got to get yourself off to bed. Pick one thing that you never want to repeat yourself with. It could be, okay, we're leaving in 5 minutes. If you don't want to repeat yourself with that when you're leaving, then put that on the board. Say, don't, or whatever, come to the front door. We're leaving. And when I say we're leaving in 5 minutes, be ready to leave. Something like that. Be very specific what you're going to choose. You can't just say, listen to me the first time. That's ridiculous. That's like saying, respect me. It's too general, right? So pick one specific thing that you do not want to repeat. Okay. Put it on the board. Say, get ready to go within 5 minutes of being asked to do so. Now you're going to have to repeat yourself because he doesn't do it right away. So give yourself extra time to leave. And then you say to him, okay, I'll tell you what, when we get home, you need to get going now. I'd probably wait till he's in the car before saying this because you don't want him to not get ready. But I would say to him when you get in the car, so you do have to nag him again. Then when you get in the car and say, by the way, you didn't get ready within 5 minutes. I had to keep nagging you. So when we get home, there'll be a consequence. It'll be on the behavior board. The behavior board is completely free. It's on my website. This was quite cute. Actually, I'm not feeling great. Oh gosh. So I'm just recovering from stomach flu. Anyway, what was I going to say? Oh, I had a really good point too. Just a sec here. Shoot, it was a really good point. Brats. Something I wanted to mention before and I keep forgetting. Flugen. Sorry, flugen is my swear word. Okay. What was it? 10-year-old? Don't want to forget. Sugar. Sugar is my other swear word. I swear really well now as I'm older, but when my kids were growing, I never swore until I was like in my 50s. Makes me feel cool now when I do swear. But when I'm online, I don't swear. Okay. What was that? It was something I thought was a really good point. Oh, I know. No, it wasn't a good point. It was just something funny. There was this guy, he's quite popular on some platform. I don't know which one. Anyway, but he does very funny videos, actually. And he and his husband have a little 16-month-old. So evidently, my daughter showed me this. And she said, he didn't mention my name, but we're pretty sure it was me because he called that scary lady. And everything he was talking about was all my methods. And most of the comments said that sounds like BratBusters, right? But it was really cute. That scary lady. And I laughed. And my daughter said, "Oh, does that upset you or something?" She knows what of course it didn't. I thought it was hilarious. I love being that scary lady. Okay, so Tabitha, you're 33-month-old. That's just almost 3. Tried running the other day for the first time in a really long time after gymnastics. And I grabbed her, threw her in the car and invented leverage. Was that the wrong thing to do? Well, I don't know if I would have thrown her in the car and just chuck her like a sack of potatoes. Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. Yeah, probably. You know why? I probably would have gone with something big with that, taken something away. I would have gone straight because it's a safety issue, right? You do not want her doing that again. So if she does it again, then I would get a leash if it becomes a habit. Oh, I knew you were going to say that. Although, why'd you ask? Oh, I forgot my timer. Yeah, I'm just coming out of the stomach flu. I was out like a light for like 2 days. The first day, I laid on that couch staring at the ceiling. Didn't look at videos, didn't listen to music, nothing. Just stared at the ceiling. The second day, I was half and half, stared at the ceiling or stared outside and looked at a few videos. But yeah, a whole day of staring at the ceiling. Wow. Whew, what kind of an exciting life. No, about throwing her. Oh. Yeah. Okay, I'm not getting any questions here on Facebook. I've got a very small attendance on there, which is really unusual. I wonder why that would be. Could be the time. I'm not usually on at this time. Okay. Interesting. What I might do is if there's not enough people interested on Facebook, I might hop over to Instagram. So we'll see. I'll just wait. If there's one more question, I'll answer it on Facebook and then I'll move on. If not, I'll just move on. Wendy Darling Ryan. Nice name. The good thing about Facebook is you usually get people's real names, whereas everywhere else you get a handle. Church time too. Oh, okay. You're going off to church. Okay. Well, thanks for turning up, Tabitha. Okay. Okay, let me see. Yeah, I'll just hop over to Instagram. If you want to join me over there, I'm on YouTube the whole time whenever I'm doing a live. Check out my website. It's BratBusters.com. You can get my free behavior board, my boot camp courses. We're running a 5-session Q&A series. If you want to know more about that, it'll be on my website, BratBusters.com. Or you can look into coaching if you want to work with me one-on-one. I do have a big wait list, but I'll get to eventually. Or you can listen to the podcast. It's called BratBusters Parenting Podcast. It's on all the platforms, and we save it on YouTube if you want to watch us do it. Oh, I mean, lots of people probably at church. Oh, right. You're right. That's right. Yeah. Oh, that's okay. Just all of us non-church goers. I envy people who go to church all the time because the sense of community. I've often thought I should look into that. Got a lot of churches right near me, so I should look into that. I want that community, right? Okay, I'm not a non-believer. I don't go to church. So I'm not a believer or non-believer, whatever, who cares? Okay, so thanks so much for joining me. Check out my website, as I just said, or you can hop over to Instagram where I'm going now. Yeah, I figure when you're sick and you belong to a church, don't they bring you stuff and everything when you're sick? I'd be happy to do that for people too. It's a great community. Okay. We've got a church nearby, and they're Korean church, and they dress up to the nines. I mean, they are like in tuxedos almost for church. It's quite nice to see, actually. It's really cute. Very dressed up. But I don't speak Korean, so I probably wouldn't go to that one. Plus, I don't have any dress clothes. Okay, this is as dressed up as I get. Okay, welcome to the live. I'll just wait till a few more people turn up. I just got notification. That's cool about the Korean church. Yeah. I mean, they just look gorgeous. Their children are dressed to the nines. Oh, that's sweet. Okay, so I'm going to get going now. Welcome to my live. My name's Lisa. I'm a parenting coach. If you go to my website, it's BratBusters.com. You can get my free behavior board, my boot camp courses. We have a 5 Q&A series running in the boot camp courses right now. If you want to check it out, it's on my website. Or you can look into coaching if you want to work with me one-on-one. That's a big wait list for that, but I will get to it eventually. Or you can listen to the podcast. It's called BratBusters Parenting Podcast. It's on all the platforms, and we save it on YouTube. So if you if you've got an email, if you're a client, you've got an email waiting to be answered. Sorry, I've been laid out flat with flu. So anyway, I'm just trying to warm up, trying to get back into work by doing this. I couldn't even sit up for a couple days there. So okay. Okay, sorry, I'm just looking for questions here. This is social dearest. Cute. Happy Sunday. My 2.5-year-old throws things when he's frustrated and breaks toys and items in our house. How to redirect his frustration to stop breaking things? Well, you take them away. So if he starts breaking stuff, make sure you don't have a lot of stuff that he can grab either. Like a lot of parents have stuff everywhere. You're just giving them ammunition. You're giving them weapons, right? I was very much a minimalist. And with my kids, I had everything like child-proofed in my home. So there was nothing below the waist that they couldn't have. And I did a toy rotation system, so they didn't have a lot of stuff. So yeah, if he's going to throw stuff, just keep following him around. When he picks something up to throw it, take it away from him. You got to be on top of that stuff, okay? You can't just, I always say you wait till they do the bad behavior, but not if they get violent. If they're hurting someone or hurting themselves or damaging property, you do intervene and prevent it. The first time you can't always see it coming, but after that you usually can. Oh my goodness. Sorry. That's a real sneeze. I had a client the other day who did these little sneezes. I said, was that a sneeze? She goes, yeah, it was the prettiest little sneeze. I got the big manly ones. Okay. How do I deal with my daughter, just 2, pushing other children at playgroups, soft plays, and play dates? I don't know what a soft play is. I don't know what that is. Anyway, so she's pushing other kids. Just get between them. Don't let her do it. Okay, if you know she's going to do it, you be right there. This is the kind of stuff you have to be on top of it. You want to fix it, so you just make it a project for a whole week or a whole 2 weeks. This is your project. You're going to stop her from being aggressive towards other children. No one appreciates that. I've seen it a lot, but most people understand some kids are just going to do it. There's 4 things they're born to do or they're never going to do. One is tantrums. One is running. One is climbing, and the other one is aggressive behavior. Some are never going to do any of them, and some will do all 4. I always remember I had someone on a live say, my kid does all 7. Well, there's only 4 of them. I love that. You gotta have a sense of humor if you're a parent. It helps a lot, okay? I have moose squeak sneezes from Tabitha. Yeah, mine are just average sounding sneezes, actually. But yeah, some people have really, like my client, gee. I said, what was that? It was a sneeze. Really? She looked like the type that would do that too. Very pretty, very, very feminine. Okay, this is Neela 4884. Hi, my 9-year-old has these bursts of anger when she's really mean. Anger when she's really mean. Okay. And if I say you can be angry but not mean, well, that doesn't do it. You're just lecturing her. It doesn't do anything. She just becomes meaner. Yeah, she does. What do I do? Yeah, when you lecture them, it makes them more angry. It's like if you're upset with your husband or spouse or whatever, and they say to you, calm down. It's the same thing, right? How would you feel? Probably will escalate you. It's the exact same thing. No one wants to be lectured to, especially when they're angry. So what you do is, she has bursts of anger, but I don't know what she's doing. I don't deal with attitude. I don't deal with anger even. I just let them have it, right? Let them go. I don't care. But then you said she's really mean. If she said, I hate you, you're awful, you're the worst mom or dad in the world, I would just go, whatever, and walk away, okay? Let her know she's not in charge. You are, okay? But if a kid was my kid ever talked to me like that, I hate you, you're the worst mom in the whole. Well, for one thing, I'd probably ask what they're talking about because it was out of character. But if they did, because I was already a leader, by the way, it's not that you're a bad mom. It's just that you're not a leader. That's all. That's why they're saying it. Okay. Once you're a good leader, they don't talk like that. So you want to get that in check. So it doesn't mean I was a bit like they love me anymore. It just means I was already a leader. Anyway, if my kids had said anything mean to me, I just would have gone, whatever, and walked away like that. No way I would react to that. Wouldn't give them the power. Very grateful for the advice you give. Thank you from Birmingham. Oh, welcome. Thank you. That's very sweet. Is a hug after emotional meltdown a form of connection, or should I be doing an activity or song after my son loses it? Do a song. You're trying to bring them into the light. They're in the dark when they're having that. Now you want to bring them into the light. If you hug them and go and sort of comfort the tantrum, comfort this, you're still in the dark, right? So yeah, you want to get out of that. You want to show them, hey, I'm in the light. I'm in the high road. I'm waiting for you to join me there. Okay. So yeah, don't go down the low road with them. Oh, poor thing. Yeah. Yucky. Okay. Lisa never repeats herself. She uses a timer, and I do too. Only time I repeat myself now is when interrupting times. Okay, timers. Very good point. I said that. Was that in this Instagram one or Facebook? Anyway, someone asked about repeating themselves, and I said I would never repeat myself. Or if I had to, I usually take action once I've said something has to happen. But if I ever had to repeat myself, I said, I'll tell you what, you made me nag you, so now there'll be a consequence. That's what I would do. I never had to repeat myself because I was already a leader, okay? So I don't talk about what I did really because I was a leader from day one. So I kind of sailed through parenting. It's the only thing I'm really good at. It was easy for me, right? So that's why I'm teaching it. But I just want to make that very clear. Everyone has something they're good at. I'm sure you got lots of stuff you're better at than me. So don't worry about it. Anyway, so yeah, I don't repeat myself. But if a kid made me repeat myself with something that had to happen, like, oh, bedtime. And then if I had to say it again, there'd be a consequence, you see, because they didn't do what they needed to do. So, but I'm careful with that. I don't order them around. I don't want obedient soldiers. There's a bit of a difference there. And I would never tell my kids to go to bed. I have no memory of ever telling them to get ready for school, do their homework, or go to bed. They had responsibilities. If they didn't follow through with those responsibilities, then I would come in with a consequence. Oh, you didn't do your homework last night, eh? Well, okay, what are we going to do about that? I know, sorry. How about I do that? And they'd come up with some idea. So, but yeah, you got give them pride too. If they're just obeying you, there's no pride in that. There's no pride in being an obedient soldier. There's pride in having your own responsibilities and following through with them without being reminded. And also, don't go overboard with the praising. Oh, good boy for doing your homework. Could you imagine if you paid the bills and your spouse went, oh, good kid, or good spouse for paying the bills? Like, it's patronizing. They got responsibilities. They do them. I just expect that's normal behavior. That's how I treat that. I've got off a bit of a tangent, but in my head, it was important. Sorry, I am just coming out of the flu. It's my first day sitting upright. I've been flat out. I've been horizontal for the last couple of days. So, and sorry, if you do have an email waiting to be answered, I just haven't been doing anything. So I literally have been out of it. Oh, food time battles. This is a tough one. This is Wise Girl NM. Okay. Food time battles for 2-year-olds. They take hours to eat and only want to eat by themselves. I let her do that until I feed the younger one, and I have 2 children. Younger is 1 year old. So I don't have the time, patience, or okay. There's a lot of different things I'd have to ask you. Do they have snacks? What kind of snacks do they have? When they come to the table, do you sit with them? Do you eat with them? Do you talk while they're eating, or do you ask them about eating all the time? Like if you just chat and they see you eating, say, "Ooh, this is good." Or you might even try hand feeding them if you have to get them going. There's just so many different things you could do with that. But I don't quite. Yes, I eat and tell her stories. Okay, so you're eating with them. And what about the make different plates, different, like make different utensils. Which one do you want? And let them choose the utensil. If they have a fit over that, then maybe don't do that. But give them empowerment on how to handle the food. Also, watch the snacks. A lot of parents give kids a lot of crackers and stuff, or heavier foods like that, more filling. Fruit is a good snack. Something lighter, although I can't really talk about nutrition because I'm not a nutritionist or a doctor. But yeah, don't give them heavy snacks. They are more grazers, by the way. Toddlers, I've heard doctors have actually said this. They eat way less than we think they should. Or sometimes they'll eat a lot. They go through growth spurts. They're like teenagers that way. I remember my son especially, he wouldn't eat very much. He wasn't a huge foodie. So he wouldn't eat. Food wasn't that important to him. And then he'd go through a growth spurt. He grew 6 inches in 1 year and went from like 5'6" to 6 feet tall in 1 year when he was about 16. Boy, did he eat. But off and on, he'd eat a lot. He'd go through a growth spurt. He'd eat a lot. Then he'd sleep a lot. So there's two things that show that they're going through a growth spurt, I've heard, is eating and sleeping. But yeah, I always knew if he ate a lot at dinner and then slept like 12 hours, I thought he's going to be an inch taller tomorrow. So 3.5-year-old is a runner in public, even with consequences. Yeah, I just had a question about that earlier. I get a leash, and too bad if they don't like it. You either don't run or you go on a leash. For sure. That's a life and death thing. I don't get this. Just like 2.5-year-old daughter was freaking out for not holding a kite. She's a great kid. It just caught me by surprise how she reacted for not holding a kite. So she wanted to hold it and you wouldn't let her? I don't understand that. Okay, that's kind of a tough one here. Not a tough one, but kind of sad. I wish you were in my ear telling me the right thing to say. My son tells me he has no friends or his friends don't want to play with him. 3 years, 3.9 years. Okay, so he's 3 years and 9 months, or he's 3 years and almost, I don't know. I never understand what that means. 3.9, is it 3 years and 9 months? Or is it 3 and then 9/10 of, I'm no good at math. Okay. It's a lie because he has friends. I say, are you being nice? I saw one of his classmates as rough and was antagonizing my three-year-old, and he pushed him back. How do I tell him to stand up for himself? But not, you can't do that. You can't teach a child how to fight back. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. He said, my son, no friends, or his friends don't want to play with him. I have a lot more questions about that one because I don't know the situation. Is your son the aggressor, or is he a victim, or does he bully? Is he ever bullied? I don't know how he plays at home. I don't know how he plays is what I'm saying. So I wouldn't know what to address. There's too many different varying answers for that one. Oh, toddler who screams every time he's excited hurts my ears. Not much you can do with a toddler who screeches with excitement, except for just go, ooh, that's too loud. And then you talk like that. Give it a go. They do tend to go through that. It's fun now having a granddaughter. She's just 2. And I'm kind of reliving it's bringing up a lot of memories with my own kids. So yeah, she went through that stage a little bit. She's still sometimes, not much. But yeah, I think the parents just, they talk very quietly to her. They never listen unless threatened with taking away outings, 3 and 5. Okay, you're threatening as it's happening or before, I'm assuming. Yeah, that's not the way to go. Get a behavior board and pick one battle per week. Check it out and just get going with your leadership skills. You're probably threatening beforehand or during. Neither of those work. at all. Like what I mean is you're threatening before you go out. If you act out when we go out, blah, 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 or we won't do it. Or if you see what I mean? If you act out the threat, just put it on a board. It's not a threat. It's just a rule, a boundary, right? A habit, a structure. So put it on a board. Okay, sorry. Wise Grim says, please answer. Okay, I'm going to try and see what you're talking about here. Okay, we eat together. 4 meals a day, fixed timings. The problem is she spits out literally when I try to hand feed. Okay, I'm stuck too. I'll tell you why. Because they got to eat, right? I'm in a very awkward position here because they got to eat. So you got to get food into them. And if they're that, tricky to get food into, do they like the food that you're feeding them? And you try and hand feed, they spit it out. Yeah, I don't want to answer that just because I'm not qualified to talk about nutrition. And I don't want to say what I do because then they might not eat, and which might not be a horrible thing for maybe a half hour or so. But I just don't want to answer that because it's about food. Yeah. Tabitha answers a lot of my questions. She's follows me on here all the time, so she kind of knows all my answers. Okay, how do you deal with other people's children snatching from or pushing your own child? You don't. You just protect your child, take them away from it. I take my granddaughter, I have her 1 day a week, and I take her somewhere. Every so often there's a kid who does that. And I just get between them and I just say, let's go over here, unless the parent comes in and takes charge. But a lot of times parents are embarrassed or they don't do anything. So usually I just let the parents, I just go, oh, well, kids will be kids, whatever. It's awkward for me because most of them recognize me. So, but I just say, oh, well, no big deal. But yeah, nothing you can do. Nothing. They're not your kids. Just protect your own kid. I've literally left the park with my kid or my grandchild. My kids or my grandchild. Literally left the park because there's been an aggressive child there. The parents are doing nothing about it. And I just think, let's just go. So. It's hard though. I know a little kid took something from my granddaughter the other day. And it's like, you have to really keep a poker face. She was playing so nicely. She's such a sweet little girl. And this kid comes along, grabs something off her, and the mom didn't do anything. And it was so frustrating. But it's going to, they got to learn, right? That happens. But my face, I don't know if I showed it or not, but I was thinking, oh, that's my granddaughter. Leave her alone. But whatever. It's just life, right? Do you have an elderly daughter's advice? I have no idea what you mean by that. Elderly is usually someone my age. I don't know what you mean by that. Okay, when I ask 3-year-old to put his shoes on, he says no. When I go to make him, he thinks it's a game. He says no just because he wants me to chase him, etc. I get so many different ideas for that one. That's the problem with that. Okay, he's 3 years old. Oh, okay, I put it on the behavior board. Put your shoes on within 5 minutes of being asked to do so. That could be all you say on the behavior board. Put your shoes on within 5 minutes of being asked to do so. Here's the thing. You say, okay, remember the board. You got 5 minutes to put your shoes on. That starts now. Now you're just a timekeeper. Don't say another word. I don't care what he does. He runs around laughing and ding, ding, ding. Okay, let's go to the board. Now let me see. You didn't put your shoes on. Give yourself time to do this. Didn't put your shoes on, so here's your consequence. But I'll tell you what, we don't have time now. We'll do it when we get home. Okay? Yeah, he'll learn. It's got to be a consequence. Everyone wants their kids to just do what they say. Would you pay your taxes if there was never any penalty if you didn't? Think about it. Would you? If the government just asked you, can you please pay your taxes every single year and do it right on time, or, no penalty or anything? Think about it. Don't you operate by consequences, right? Why do you expect your kids to just take your orders and, not and to learn from it? Doesn't make any sense at all to me. They learn through consequences, knee-jerk reaction, right? Push, pull. What you do, you get back, comes back at you. I made sure with my kids, I used to say to them, if you're good, life is good. If you're bad, life won't be so good. I'll make sure of it because I'm your mom. That's a good lesson in life, right? What you put out, you get back. Okay, I got to go over to TikTok now if you want to join me over there. If not, check out my website, BratBusters.com. You can get my free behavior board, my boot camp courses. Check out, we've got a brand new series coming up just for boot camp members. It's a 5-week Q&A series. It's all of April, every Thursday. Anyway, it's on the website. My daughter will also be posting it too. And we'll be filming all that. We've done something similar before. We're just trialing this out. And also you can look into coaching if you want to work with me one-on-one. I've got a big wait list, but I will get through it eventually. Or you can listen to the podcast. It's called BratBusters Parenting Podcast. It's on all the platforms, and we save it on YouTube if you want to watch us film it. It's my daughter and I. Anyway, thanks so much for joining me, and I'm hopping over to TikTok, and I'm on YouTube the whole time. Happy parenting. Yeah, I think you're right, Tabitha. That might be church time because not getting a big, and TikTok's or Instagram's usually my biggest one. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to me. Okay, it's a 2-year-old again. You can't put a timer on for 2-year-old. No, they won't get it. You can use, like I said, they got to eat. You can use incentive. There must be something that they like to eat or something that they like to play with. Do you know what I do with my granddaughter? If I want her to eat faster, or because sometimes we'll be chatting and that, she's 2. And what I'll do is I have her 1 day a week, and I take a lot of videos of her throughout the day. And what I do, because her mother's way better at all this than I am, but I'm grandma, right? I spoil her. But what I do is to get her to eat. She just eats for her mom. Her she's great with her. Anyway, so it's just become a joke that grandma bribes her all the time. Anyway, I take all these little videos of her throughout the day. And then when I want her to eat, I say, oh, if you have another bite, you can watch another video. She's obsessed with watching herself on video. So, and just to test it out, I showed her a video of myself once, and she couldn't have looked more bored. Anyway, that's what I did. So you take a bite, and then you can see, oh, there's another, just like a 20-second video. They love seeing themselves. Anyway, that's what I do with her. See if it works. It's very different being a grandmother. I don't know why, but I feel this urge to spoil her and let her get away with stuff. It's the grandmother gene. It's just different. That is a good idea, isn't it? I never really thought I've just been doing it. I just didn't think about it. I've been doing it for ages. Yeah. And then she's older. So one time she tried to trick me, though. She's just 2. I wasn't paying much attention. I was scrolling through the videos to look for the next one. She went like this with her fork, and she scraped the bowl a little bit, sounding like she was, and then she went like this. There was nothing on the fork. I said, I saw that, and she took a big bite. God, she's darling. She's a very sweet little girl. I'm very, 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 very crazy about her. My 2-year-old daughter tells me, no, tell me no, mama, when I tell her no. How to just ignore her argument. Just tell her no and then take action. It's all about consistent corrective actions with toddlers, okay? Just ignore her back talk. If you give it any attention, she's going to keep doing it. Pretty much guaranteed. Yeah, just ignore it. No, mama, no, I'm off doing the dishes or something. I'm not listening. I guess the reason I don't really promote that video idea is I don't see it as something long-term. You know what? Because I don't like using devices or videos or screens at the dinner table. That's why I'm not big on it. But as a grandmother, but temporarily, if you want to give it a go. But you see where I'm going with that? It's just because I'm using screens. Even though it's just like a 20 or even a 10-second video of her, it's still a screen. I don't like having any screens. That's why I don't really promote it. My soon-to-be 4-year-old screams louder and louder, and when he doesn't get something, he starts hitting. Oh, has he got you by the knackers? Yeah, he's in charge. Okay, by that age, they only do what works. It says to me it must have worked in the past. Either you give in and you give him what he wants, or you have. Okay, doesn't mean you do it every time. They don't forget. If you give in once, they remember that. They don't remember all the times you didn't. They remember the one time you did give in. Either that or it upsets you. Okay, remember, just don't show that they can control your emotions when they're being like that, right? And don't give in. So they only do what works past that age, past 3.5, really. They only do what works. So it means it must have worked in the past or continue to work. There was a guy, I think it was on TikTok, I can't remember. Anyway, and he's quite got a really big following, but he was talking about this scary lady who gives parenting advice, and it was all my advice. So, and all these comments were like, I think that's BratBusters. I think my daughter commented on that, but it was excellent. That scary lady. I didn't know I was scary. And we were laughing because there's nothing scary about me, but I could see that. And I thought it was funny. I kind of like that. Makes me feel tough. Kind of like that. I do like to act tough on the outside. I've always been like this. I like to put up a tough front. I don't know why. It's not impressive, but because I'm not like that at all in real life. I'm kind of a marshmallow. But anyway. But I don't even like to admit that. Anyway, I'm tough. That scary lady. Okay, you got to put an age. I can't answer unless I have an age. Some of them I can, but a lot I can't. You're not scary at all. You look like a serious person. Very goofy, and I'm not scary. So, yeah, I'm very serious about parenting. And yet, when I'm with kids, I'm a total doofus. Very much a goofball. It's very common to see me skipping down the street with my granddaughter and jumping in puddles with her. So I have no pride or dignity when I'm with kids. It's nice, they bring out the best in me. And it's just such a freeing feeling. Whenever I'm with kids, I just feel like I'm at my best, or when I'm with my kids. And they're 36 and 31, so they're not kids anymore, but you know what I mean? So it's really nice. I always enjoy being around kids because I feel like I'm at my best when I'm with kids. Someone said, I used to only watch your shorts and you used to scare me. I'm very serious about what I teach, though. I really believe in this. And, my main goal isn't that you raise nice kids. My main goal is that you enjoy parenting. I want all parents to wallow in parenting like I did and raise nice kids at the same time. That's a byproduct of this. But leadership frees you up to enjoy your children because you get all that pesky discipline sorted out, and then you can just relax and enjoy them. Becoming a leader, learning how to do this is really hard work. But once you're there, maintaining leadership is a piece of cake right through the teen years. You have the odd little hiccup, but yeah, it's pretty good. It's worth it. It's worth the upfront work. And it's that short-term pain for long-term gain. A lot of parents do it the opposite, short-term gain for long-term pain. They give up, they yell, they spank, they do all those things that might work sort of in the short. I don't recommend any of them, but you know what I'm saying. They get like kind of quick results, but then they backfire down the road because they're not good parenting methods. My 3-year-old is very into the back talk right now, and I struggle not letting my emotions get to me. Yeah, they're just going to give it a go. It's either going to work or it isn't. In other words, are you a leader or not? Right? If a kid said something, I've worked with tons of kids who've said horrible things to me, especially the teenagers I worked with. And if they said something horrible, I go, whoops, all righty then. Anyway, let's get back to work. That's when I was working with kids. It's a little bit different with your own kids. I would just go, whatever, and walk away. Just do what I'm going to do, do the dishes or something. If you allow them to beat you at something that simple, like the attitude, if you allow their attitude to control your emotions, good luck to you. They've got you by the nuts. They just do, and they know it. They pick up on that. They're in charge now. Totally, they're in charge. And they'll run with it. I implemented your tools today with my 3-year-old throwing a tantrum. Did it work? Oh, by the way, that often gets worse before it gets better. Because and there's a very specific way of ignoring a tantrum. You might want to look that up if you've never seen me talk about it before. You can just Google BratBusters tantrums. Okay. thousands of videos on it. But it's a very specific way of ignoring them, and then you connect with them right after it. So yeah, they often get worse initially because they're not used to you ignoring them. All of a sudden you're ignoring them, they're going to get worse, and we're trying to get you to give them attention, to feed it, right? Any attention to a tantrum is fertilizing it. You can prevent them from hurting themselves, hurting someone else, or damaging property. So you physically restrain them, so just to keep them safe, right? But you still don't look at them or talk to them. Any attention is fertilizer for a tantrum. It'll just keep growing, and they're winning. As soon as you give them any attention, now they're winning. They just took you down to the low road. You were on the high road when you're staying calm and ignoring it. And then as soon as you look at them or talk to them, now you're on the low road with them. You just don't know it, but that's what you just did. You just traveled down the low road, and that ladder has been kicked out. You can't get back up there. It's just impossible. So yeah. She calms down pretty quickly. Oh, good for you. No hug during a tantrum? God, no. Good tantrum. It means you're condoning it. You're congratulating them. Yeah, it's no, never. A tantrum is not big feelings and big emotions. It's a loss of emotional control, not getting their own way. They are just mad. You do not comfort that at all. Completely ignore it. Let them process their own anger. That's okay. Don't discuss it. All these mini therapy sessions, if you've seen me at all before, they're absolute crap. They're garbage. Garbage. A 2-year-old does not need a mini therapy session. A 6-year-old does not need it. A 16-year-old does not need a mini therapy session about their bad behavior or tantrums. Tantrums are not bad behavior. It's a loss of emotional control, not getting their own way. It's just based on anger. There's no freaking way I would hug them during it or even right after, because then they're in the hangover of the tantrum. I need a hug, that stage right after a tantrum, you just go, you're all right. Let's go read a book. See, I'm cheery. I'm upbeat. They are not dragging me into that. Oh, it's okay. No freaking way. Because now you're both in it now. You're both in the garbage here with this tantrum, with that energy, that negative energy. Yeah, don't let them drag you into it. Oh, it's 3 years old. This is high. What age did you say it gets worse or better depending on if you're being a leader? It's 3. 3 is when they have their frontal lobe or something develops. I'm not a scientist, but they all say the frontal lobe is when they have the ability to stop and think before they act. They start to get impulse control. They can start to reason. So it's 3. It's almost always right around 3. A little bit before, but not, and always after. All kids at 3 can do this. They can learn to do it. Doesn't mean they're going to do it, but it means they can learn how to do it. So at 3, I always call 3 a fork in the road. At 3 years old, they stop. When they turn 3, they blow out their candles and then they go like this. Now, let me see. Do my parents know what they're doing or not? In other words, am I going to get better or worse? Right? Toddlers are kind of, loose cannons. They're going to try stuff. But at 3, you'll know if you've been a leader through the toddler years, if at 3 they get easier. Because they're proud of themselves. They're happier. No kid acting out is happy. In the moment where they're hitting their parents and acting out, they're not happy. Okay, you want happy kids. And tantrums are not happy. So you don't want to feed it. You don't want to encourage it. Like I said, it's not big feelings and big emotions. It's nothing but frustration, a loss of emotional control, anger. Let them process that. It's none of your business. You can't self-regulate someone else. It doesn't make any sense. It's self-regulate. They will learn. They learn to lean into what does work and lean away from what doesn't. Okay? That's what they're learning. They have to learn this themselves. You can't help them with that. Well, you are by ignoring. You're letting them know, I'm just waiting here for you to join me. That's what you're looking like. As soon as they stop, oh, you all done? Do you want to go? They've just learned, wait a minute. It gets me nothing. But as soon as I stop, all of a sudden I get attention. They lean away from what doesn't work and they lean into what does work. That's what this is doing. How do you get them quiet in church? I think that's an unreasonable expectation if they're under 3. I think it's unreasonable. Churches go on for a long time. You probably couldn't keep me quiet either. I like to move around, talk a lot. So yeah, I think it's unreasonable. There's usually don't they have Sunday school or something for kids? Some sort of kids are looked after. I just think it's usually unrealistic to expect a toddler, especially to sit there in church. Giving hug after tantrum. Nope. Their love language. Okay, you hug them all other times, right? Their love language is fun. Okay? Now, they've just gone through a miserable time. They're mad as anything. They've just been sweating and screaming. And then what you want to do is pull them into the light. You want to pull them into this cheery. Do you want to go read a book? Do you want to go play some blocks? And you can sit down and play with them. They can crawl into your lap and sort of hug you, but you're not doing the big show of the comfort, okay? A tantrum is not scary for a child unless you're doing something else wrong. They're just mad. They're just mad. Oh, and it's theater. It is drama. And it's made that way so that parents will pay attention. It's sort of a baby screaming gets on your nerves because we're instinctively meant to listen to that, right? Right? Like baby crying. But tantrums are different from crying. There's crying involved, but it's when it's anger. Now, if it's tantruming over a need, like they're hungry, they're tired, they're sick, then you meet their needs. You don't ignore the tantrum. You meet their needs. If they're tired, you get them off to bed. You don't stand there ignoring them. How do I stop yelling at my 3-year-old when she tests boundaries? Okay, you take it as your responsibility, not hers. She's going to test boundaries because she's a child and she doesn't trust you to be a leader yet. Work on your leadership skills, and then you'll just learn how to calm down because you'll have something else to do. Okay, check out my free behavior board. It's on my website. I don't know where she's put it because we've got something else going on the website. The website's BratBusters.com. Yeah, at the very top now we've got that. Oh, there it is. We've got a Q&A series going with the boot camp course right now. But if you go down, oh, here we go. The first step is the behavior board. Check that out. You can get free access to that. And there's actually 2 mini courses in there, one for older kids and one for toddlers. It's the start. It's the training wheels with how to do all this. Do you have any tips on how to encourage shy, timid toddlers? I never force a kid to say hello to anyone, a little kid, ever. So if they're, I always say, oh, say hello. And if they don't, I ignore it. I don't care if they say hello. They don't need to learn that yet. They're going to be shy at times. And that's okay. I respect that because they don't warm up to everybody right away. Familiarity is really important to really little ones, especially babies and toddlers. Not all of them. Some of them will go to anybody, especially daycare kids, because they're used to a lot of different people looking after them, right? So, but a lot of them just like familiarity. So yeah, I would never force them. So if they're shy, I take them out a lot. I took my kids out every day. They were out somewhere. They went, by the time they were up on their feet and walking well at about 14 months, I think, then I took them every single day. We went to the gym. I worked out. They went to the gym daycare. So that was their social time. So yeah, I took them out everywhere. We were in lots of activities, play groups, and I don't force them. Some people are just more shy. I've never had a shy moment in my life, but I've seen shy people. I know it's a genuine thing. Some people are not born as extroverted, you know. So yeah, it's not, you know, it's okay if they're shy. But you've got, if it's sort of their basic nature, that's okay. But if it's because they're afraid or whatever, I guess shyness is fear, isn't it? I don't know what shyness, I've never had it. I don't know what that is. I've seen it. I think, you know what I always thought was, I never understood about shyness, because I never think people are obsessed with me and they're looking at me. Like, I think if I want to do something or say something, I just do it. I don't think the whole world's looking at me. Isn't that kind of a narcissistic way to think of the world? Well, I don't want people laughing at me. They're not even looking at you. They're busy with their own lives. That's the way I look at it. I don't see it the other way. I just don't get it. I don't think people are that interested in me. Like, that's why I'm not shy. So anyway, I don't know. I don't know if it works that way. I don't know anything about it really. Okay. Makes sense though, doesn't it? Why? Oh, you're asking about kids fighting. Check out my free behavior board. It's a good place to start because they're 3 and over. And you might want to put something down like this. You can't put no fighting. It's too general. Just say no aggressive behavior. You could just try that. So put that down for the kids on the behavior board. That's for Baby Girl XP on YouTube. Okay. Yeah, if you're waiting for an email from me, because if you're a client or something, I've been out of service for the last few days. I've had the stomach flu, got it from my granddaughter. So I could either get sick with stomach flu and have a granddaughter that I see all the time, or once a week I have her, or not have a granddaughter and never get sick. I think I know what I'd choose. She was worth it. Hmm. Do you have any tips for potty training? No. I've got a whole course on it. It's in my toddler course if you're interested in that. It's a whole system. I can't give any tips on it other than 2.5 is a really good age. Some are a little bit earlier, some are a little bit later, but about 2.5 is pretty good for most kids. If you train them too early, like 18 months, it could work, but they're more likely to regress. The earlier you train them, the more likely they are to regress. So yeah, I've got a whole system. I trained my son in 1 day and my daughter in 2 days. I was already a leader though, and it's all done through fun. It's a party, right? So, well, fun for them, not for me, but anyway. No pull-ups, no night diapers ever. But I did take a little porta potty everywhere we went, and I'd often pull over to the side of the road. So you have an 11-year-old who has a friend that you feel is not inappropriate, no, things that are not age appropriate. What can I do? All you can do when they get older and they're out without you, right? Your only power is your relationship with them. Information is power. So the more you talk about everything that isn't appropriate in an age appropriate way, okay, the less likely they are to follow anyone else's lead if it's inappropriate. It's just the way it is. Your leadership has a huge power with your children as they get older, and with your teenagers too, in that they'll start telling you everything. Okay. And the more they tell you, I remember, I think it was my son who said, well, I could never get in trouble. He's very funny. So I could never get in trouble because I knew I'd be telling you everything anyway. So plus, nothing's quite as exciting or like risky if your mom's already talked about it and knows about it. You know, if you've already discussed everything with your mom or your dad, it loses some of its sort of excitement. You know what I'm saying? My son, who is 6, is realizing he can start saying a different way things happen versus, oh, lying. Yeah, what you do is you just do an interview with him. You say, what happened? I just want to make notes so I get it straight in my head. Okay. And then you just write it all down. Then say, I'll tell you what, I'm not, oh, okay, that sounds interesting. And then maybe a few hours later, he's 6, could be, say, I'll tell you what, can we go through that again? And then take notes and put them side, like split the paper in half and say, the truth never changes, lies will change. The truth can be buffed up a bit, but it never changes. Okay, that's how you can tell. And also you can usually tell by body language. There's all sorts of things they do. They tend to do this a lot when they're lying. Chin goes up. That's also for defiance, but anyway. Do you use your parent coaching in being a grandma, or do you have more grandma behavior? Oh, I'm definitely grandma, definitely. Absolutely. She's got me wrapped around her little finger. She's a very well-behaved little girl. They're doing a great job with her, but she's got a very sweet, easy nature. She has me wrapped around her little finger. So yeah, she knows it. But she's really good too. If I say something, you know, she knows I mean it. Like you're holding my hand when we cross the street. But yeah, no, I'm grandma. For sure. God, she's adorable. Any tips for night terrors? Now, night terrors, I don't know, I'm not a doctor, but this is what doctors have told me, okay? So night terrors and nightmares are evidently different in this way, but it could be wrong. I don't know. Nightmares, they wake up. Ooh, that was a bad nightmare. Night terrors, they wake up and they're still living it because it's dark. You know, they're still in it. So that's what I hear that is. I don't know. And there's not much you can do other than that, other than have a sound machine or a light galaxy thing going, which brings them into the real world. That's what I've heard. Well, I didn't hear the solution to it, but that I did hear that's the difference between them. So then I've recommended to clients that maybe they try, you know, sound machine. It brings them back into the real world, or like a clock that they can see the numbers, anything that reminds them, you know, that they're in their room and all that stuff. I've heard it, you know, some clients have told me it works and others probably not. I don't know. Okay, best way to handle my daughter stay in her seat at a restaurant or grocery store. Does she stay in her seat when you're eating at home? Or does she have free reign and eat snacks around the house? You can't expect her to have different behavior when you're out. My kids didn't even know it was possible to eat anywhere but at the table. They didn't know it was even, or to get up during a meal because they'd never done it. So yeah, are you consistent is what I'm saying. And at the grocery store, have the goodie bag. I used to have the grocery shopping goodie bag. And my kids only saw it when we were at the grocery store. They had to sit up in that seat, and it went in front of them. And inside was a little snack, a little drink, and something to play with. And I changed out those little cheap toys and activities, like I had a basket on top of the fridge. I just grab a new handful every time we went grocery shopping. So it was different stuff every time we went, but all just the same old junk, right? So yeah. My 4-month-old needs to be entertained all the time. Is that normal? Not for all of them, but some of them it is. Yeah, they're all different, right? So babies require a lot of attention. I think years ago, babies were carried around, like back in the olden days. They were just carried around all the time. So it's like basically a koala bear or something. They were used to being up against you all the time. Now we put them down, I think more. They say that at one time they were sort of carried around more. So I think it's sort of intuitive that they want to be with you all the time. So yeah, it's demanding. I can remember my husband coming home and just saying, I only had this with my son because he was my first, and just saying he's all yours because he just wanted mom to hold him all day. So, but then with my daughter, I had a 5-year-old son by that time, so he would go over and entertain her. So, but yeah, I remember that, saying he's all yours. There you go. But yeah, very common. Not all like that. They're all different. Anyway, sorry, but I got to run. Thanks so much for joining me. Check out my website, BratBusters.com. You can get my free behavior board, my boot camp courses. We have an upcoming special coming up with the Q&A series. It's sort of what we've done in the past, a little bit different. You can check it out on the website. It's just for people in the boot camp courses. Or you can look into coaching if you want to work with me one-on-one. I do have a big wait list for that, but I'll get to that eventually. Or if you want to listen to the podcast, there's no wait list for that. It's called BratBusters Parenting. Oh, I just got dizzy. Just coming out of the flu. I didn't eat for 2 whole days. So now I'm going to try and put all that weight back on. Anyway, because I can't afford to lose it. Anyway, coaching. Yeah. Okay. If won't be shaking my head again. If you want to listen to the podcast, it's called BratBusters Parenting Podcast. It's on all the platforms. And you can see it on YouTube if you want to watch my daughter and I film it. Anyway, thanks so much for joining me, and we'll talk again soon. Happy parenting.